Prosecutors say it puts dangerous abusers behind bars.
It's our job to protect people, and it's our job to hold people accountable when they commit violent felonies, and that's what we're trying to do.
But Ohio Supreme Court could limit its use.
You cannot judge credibility from a piece of paper. You need to be able to hear the words of the person.
Welcome to the 6 o'clock show here. Evidence-based prosecutions are also known as victimless prosecutions. They occur when a criminal case goes forward without the victim's testimony and are most often used in domestic violence cases. So why is the method now at the heart of the case before the state's top court? News 5 investigator Sarah Buttison explains.
In this ruling, Ohio's 8th District Court of Appeals denounced how often evidence-based prosecutions happen inside Cuyahoga County courtrooms like this one. Prosecutors push back. They say the method not only holds abusers accountable, it saves lives. Take what happened in the city of Lorraine last year.
I have a situation.
It started with a call.
The owner wasn't answering the door.
About loose dogs.
So I really don't know if the guy is okay or not.
It ended with a gruesome discovery.
Though the facts and evidence are currently leading the Lorraine Police Department to determine this to be a murder-suicide.
Police say 29-year-old Tyler Young shot and killed his wife, Skylar, her 9-year-old daughter, Angel, and their 4-month-old son, and then shot himself.
Your home is supposed to be the safest place that you should be, and it should not be a place of this kind of tragedy and tragic loss.
So what went wrong inside this Lorraine home? The city's mayor, Jack Bradley, started asking questions.
I did discover that there had been an earlier domestic violence situation involving this family.
In May 2023, prosecutors charged Young with domestic violence. They say he beat and strangled Skylar. She was pregnant at the time. But just days later, Skylar recanted her statement. She wrote prosecuting Tyler will, quote, ruin everything. She wrote Tyler has schizophrenia. She was trying to get him mental health help. A grand jury declined to indict him. What should have happened?
Well, of course, he should have been prosecuted.
Instead, 6 months later, they were dead. Prosecutors could have pursued the case. Starting in the mid-1980s, San Diego, Nashville, and other cities started using evidence-based prosecutions, using 911 calls, body camera video, police and witness statements, and other evidence when the victim does not want to go forward.
And it's our job to hold people accountable when they commit violent felonies, and that's what we're trying to do.
Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley says domestic violence victims often refuse to participate. The reason? By listening to jail phone calls, researchers at Ohio State found abusers often persuade victims to drop their cases.
And again, it's incumbent upon us to continue to move forward to prevent further abuse and to prevent perhaps a tragedy like a homicide at the end.
So in 2020, Cuyahoga prosecutors charged Gary Smith with 2 counts of domestic violence. Again, the victim was pregnant. Weeks later, Smith was accused of another attack on her. He was convicted in both cases. But when Smith appealed, Ohio's 8th District Court of Appeals overturned his conviction in one case. In this opinion, Judge Eileen A. Gallagher wrote that a statement the victim made to police on body camera should not have been allowed into evidence without the victim's testimony. She called Cuyahoga's use of evidence-based prosecutions, quote, a disturbing trend, and wrote prosecutors could have taken more steps to secure the victim's testimony, even getting a warrant for her arrest.
I just don't think locking up victims is the solution.
His office appealed to the Ohio Supreme Court. It agreed to review the case. But whatever the justices decide, Cullen Sweeney expects little to change.
But when it gets to the point of trial, it's very rare that the alleged victim wouldn't be there.
And Cuyahoga's chief public defender says that's as it should be. After all, the right to confront your accuser in court is in the U.S. Constitution.
If someone accused us of doing something, wouldn't want the decision maker to make that decision based on a piece of paper.
Even when victims refuse to participate out of fear.
There's a lot of things the legislature and the community can do to try to solve that problem, But one of the options that's not on the table is removing constitutional rights.
But after Tyler Young murdered his wife and children, the city of Lorraine changed its policy. Mayor Bradley says domestic violence cases will now move forward with or without the victims.
That we want to make sure that our homes in our community are safe.
So what about Gary Smith's case? The Ohio Supreme Court is expected to rule by this fall, prior to November's election. In Cleveland, I'm News 5 investigator Sarah Buttison.